because if I do this by myself and there's 2 guys, 3 guys, I'm in trouble. And to make a long story short, I made the arrest, got the guy. But the guy panicked on me and told me it wasn't my idea. You see that car going by? That guy put me up to it. And I write how I was able to get that guy that just drove by and rescue the young girl. That's all in the book.
Wow. And would you say there was like a lot of like bureaucratic tape to go around to do your job?
It had to do with overtime. They were more concerned about saving overtime. They used to put me on foot patrol because I was involved in a lot of collars, and I made a lot of money in overtime. I wasn't stealing it, but my collars were quality collars, robbery collars, burglary collars, homicide collars. But it didn't matter to some of these captains, It didn't matter to some of these bosses. These weren't your true cops. As a matter of fact, when I when I made this arrest, and I got stuck with it because finally when the detective that was assigned to it, he goes to the precinct after we brought the other 2 perps in, and I tell him, hey Tommy, take the collar. I've been away from home 2 days. I don't need this. He says, no, you got involved. It's yours. I had to go back and spend another day and a half in court. You call my wife. But then when I come back to meet the lieutenant that told me to stay out of it, he was telling me that he wanted to bring me up to the department to trial for disobeying an order. I says, oh yeah? Well, write it down. Bring me down to the department to trial. So the captain interviews me and he says, Sanchez, forget about what he says. That's a nice collar. But do me one favor. I said, don't put in for a citation, for a medal. That calls for a medal, doesn't it?
I would say it does.
Yeah, what it did. All I had to do was write it up. I was told, don't write it up. Please, a beautiful collar. Don't write it up for a medal. Do me the favor. I did the captain a favor. You know why he didn't want me to write it up?
Why?
Because I would have wrote up exactly what happened. This lady comes into the precinct, goes to the lieutenant. The lieutenant refuses to do anything until a detective assigned to the case, and he should have took immediate action. That's a lawsuit. God forbid that girl would have wound up dead. You lose your job for that. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason. If I had written that down, the lieutenant would have been jammed up. He would have been in the department to trial. So that's the reason the captain told me, don't write it up.
So they're trying to cover up their own mistakes.
Their mistake, not mine. You
were doing the right thing.
I was doing the job they should have been doing. Even though I had to do it off duty, I already had to sign out. I had to get involved to help this girl off duty, risk my life. I almost got killed doing that job. You read it in the book. I almost got killed in rescuing this girl, and I did it all by myself. But see the pressure I was being under as a cop. That's what happens to a lot of cops, good cops. I went through that. Mm-hmm. And you got to read my book. You'll like it.
Yeah, I think I definitely like it because these stories sound, crazy.
No, I start my book when I got wounded in Vietnam. When you start reading my book, first page, how I was wounded in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And how I got into the service, when I was 12 years old, how I got arrested when I was 12 years old. I write it all as much as I can. I try to be honest with it. But for me, it was tough being an honest cop and trying to do the right thing,
Yeah, so you're saying they made it pretty hard for a cop to do their job.
I got involved in a few shootings, and I tell them, the first woman to win the combat cross in the NYPD history, Susie Medici. She was my partner that night when we got into in that shooting. She was the first woman to win the combat. I'll be awarded the combat cross when we were working in the midnight tour, and she took action, and I was with her that night. Mm-hmm. And of course, she got if you go down to the museum down there at on South Street on the old strip. Mm-hmm. Just Google. Just Google the first woman to win the combat cross in the NYPD. That's Susan Medici. That was my partner. They don't put my name in it, but that's okay. When we got out of the car, I guided her all the way through. What to do when we got out of the car, and then boom, boom. But she was a good cop. I enjoyed working with her. I tell the story how I teamed up with her. Nobody wanted to work with her because she wasn't good looking. She wasn't good looking. I needed a sector because I got into an argument with my partner, and I needed a sector. She went to the captain. The captain of Bruce, a great captain. I write about him too. She says, Captain Abusi doesn't want us to work together, Joe. And I went to the captain. What's the problem? Joe, you're too active. I can't put you with a woman. You know? I don't want to hurt. You get involved too. I said, no, she'll be okay. You sure? Yes. I got into 2 shootings with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But that's what I had to go through, you know? I'll give you another story. To make a living, I used to, when I needed cash, I used to drive, you can drive a regular medallion car. They weren't allowed to drive gypsy cabs as a police officer. Medallion cabs, you can drive. You know, you get your, you go down, you get your license, bingo, you can drive a cab. But at one time, I was doing this guy a favor. This guy that owned a travel agency in my precinct, and he would give me his Lincoln Continental to pick up people that he knew that were coming from Dominican Republic, business people. And he says, Joe, on your day off, you want to make extra cash, if you can do this, are you off Saturday and Sunday? I said, yeah, I'm off this Saturday and Sunday. Take my car, pick up these people in the hotel, drive them around, bingo, wherever they want to go. You know, I'll pay you, I'll give you, I'll pay you good. You can take the my car home and then drive back into the city and pick them up. I did this, and when I was waiting by the in front of the hotel, I parked my vehicle so I wouldn't get towed away, or the brownies we call them back then. They call them traffic agents now. And as I'm waiting, I see this lady coming down with her husband with a suitcase, and all of a sudden, this young black kid comes out of nowhere and grabs a bag she had and took off running. What do you think I did?
You chased him down.
I chased him, and as I'm chasing him, this guy who was doing delivery, he saw what was going down. He bent down, the poor black kid flipped over, landed on his back. He had two small bags. Dropped one, picked up the other, and took off. And as I'm chasing this kid, he heads down Park Avenue, makes a left, disappears on me in the crowd. I'm looking around. Somebody had came over to me and said, "Hey, the guy that you was just chasing, this kid had a black jacket on." So he said, this guy says he reversed his jacket. He had a reversible. So when I turn the corner, I'm looking for a black jacket. He's got a gray jacket on. How do you know that? So the guy that's walking by me tells me, passerby, he says he's in that travel agency. He walked in there. So I go in there and I notice the same black kid wearing a gray jacket. This kid can't be repaired. Once he hit the corner, he reversed it. That's how I lost it in the crowd. But when I went inside, there he was in conversation with a travel agent, sitting down like he was conducting business, and carefully, I hadn't pulled my gun out. You don't chase nobody with a gun. That's how you get killed by an off-duty. I'm off-duty, I can get killed by another cop. Now I pulled my gun out slowly, take it easy, turn around. Anyway, I managed to cuff him. As I brought him out and bringing him back to the hotel, here comes the woman's husband. And he tells me, "You're a cop?" I says, "Yes." "I thought you were with him. If I had a gun, I would have shot you." See how easy it is to get killed? Mm-hmm. So I bring him back. I bring him back to the hotel. They had already called 911. Of course, it was about 3:30. So it was about 3 o'clock. So the guys that are finishing their 8 to 4 tour respond. The 2 cops respond. In the 17th precinct, one cop said, "Hey, when did I take the arrest? I can use the overtime." I said, "Yeah, take it. But he's got to write the report that I made the arrest. Take it." Because I'm working off duty anyway. I give him the arrest. And what came out of this was that after we go into the hotel security office, we notify the DA, we get all the information. The complainant's allowed to go home, but they have to keep some of the evidence available because he's got a plane to cash. So the husband tells me, "Listen, can you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure. Can you take us to the airport with the Lincoln Continental that I got waiting for the people who are upstairs taking a shower?" So I said, "Sure. I'll give you $100 if you take us to LaGuardia." I said, "Yeah, why not?" So I made $100 that day legally. Using the Lincoln Continental that I have waiting. So I call upstairs, and the guy picks up the phone. The guy I'm supposed to be transporting around with his wife, and I explain the situation. He said, take your time. We got another hour to go in. We just finished taking a shower. So I took advantage of that hour. They dropped the guy off at LaGuardia Airport. I made $100. I write that story in the book also. But we write it differently when I speak, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you see how I used to get involved?